How we doing today, folks? I took some time this week to kind of clean up the backyard, organize the backyard, and I just kind of wanted to make a video for you guys, and I'll be honest, for myself as well, because you know, I did quite a bit of splitting this winter, and just to remember this day. It's a windy day. It's in the 50s today. But there's a cold front coming through, so the wind's kicking up, and we're supposed to get some snow tomorrow. So I'm going to apologize in advance for the wind, but if I don't take this video today, it's just going to get snowy and nasty tomorrow. But this pile you're looking at in front of you, this is the drier wood pile. When I've been going through my splitting, this is all the drier wood, and I mean, that pile's probably about 6.5 feet tall, and I have no idea how much wood is in there, but most of this stuff is just ready to burn. And then as we move over this way, this is all my wetter wood, which is a mix of, got some cedar in there, just a touch of cedar. I've got some white oak in there, and I've got some maple in there as well. But this is the drier stuff that I can store longer. The first pile is only got another year or two before it kind of rots away. And you know, I keep talking about how much debris you generate cutting wood or splitting wood, but here's my mulch pile. And you know, the reason this is so big is because when I hand split, if it's got a big knot in it, I don't just beat it, you know, for 30 hits. I just put it aside onto the cut pile, and then I'll noodle it with my chainsaw. And when you're noodling wood with a chainsaw, it just generates a lot of fluffy sawdust. But my little Echo Bearcat chipper shredder has been doing a great job keeping up with it. I had one issue, more my fault than the chippers, where I put something too big in it. But I would have to say this is a good 6 yards of mulch, and I feel very, you know, confident using this in my own gardens. If you guys saw my video about the thinking outside the box for wood storage, I'll put all the bigger chunks in the bag, and the smaller chunks I'll put in smaller bags and use them as kindling. And then here we go again. Here's where we are. And I'd like to get some grass seed and put it down before the snow and see if I can get some grass growing back there. So in front of you, this is all the really nasty pieces. I don't want to say I've been avoiding them, but there was a pile of really big nasty pieces, and the reason I made it for last was because it was fresher wood. But this is mostly white oak and red maple, and I have been splitting by hand, but I'll be honest, guys, I'm going to change the oil in the log splitter, do a little bit of maintenance on it, and I'm going to use a splitter for this stuff, because this isn't really fun to split by hand, and I don't want to injure myself, you know, whacking a piece of wood 30 times to get it to split, when I could just either run it through the splitter, and even with the splitter I might take the really knotty ones and just noodle them, because it just the splitter makes a mess of the wood. I mean, it gets all kinds of contorted and twisted, but we'll see how it goes. But this is the stuff that's you know, left over besides the wood I have to mill, and I think it's a remarkably small pile. I mean, I feel like if I went at this for like 3 solid days, I could probably have this done. And then there's this one white oak stump here that I think I can get through with my 25-inch bar, but I'd like to get this one. You know, this one's been sitting on the pile. If you saw my older videos, you saw the butt end of this, and it's been sitting on my pile for so long, and I have been avoiding this one because it's so big, and I didn't want to cut it up high. But now that it's on the ground, hopefully I can you know, cut it most of the way, and then if I can just get it to roll a little bit and finish the cuts, and then noodle it up into smaller chunks that I can manage. I just want to show you over here. I had one log. This is a sugar maple, but I put it just at the right height, so when I have knotty stuff, I can just put my knotty stuff right over here, and go ahead and noodle it. It's you don't have to bend over. I don't like bending over. Never liked bending over, and every year I get older, I like bending over less. So this keeps the wood at a real nice height. And I just shimmed it with a couple logs underneath. So the toes will probably like that, or maybe there'll be some mice under there, I don't know. But this piece was so knotty, it's a knotty crotch that I didn't even want to split it. So we'll use it as a chopping block, and in a few years when it rots, maybe then we'll just split it into pieces and either compost it or burn it. We'll see which way it goes. And the other advantage of having it off the ground a little bit is it'll slow the rot, because if it sits in contact with the ground, I had some hemlock I did the same thing with years ago, and the ants get underneath and the rot starts at the base. So hopefully that little bit of space there will keep this one dry for a while. And then hopefully later today I'll have time to do a milling video. We'll see how it goes. It's weird. I spent the last maybe week and a half working on milling, not every day, but I've been really thinking about it a lot, and I busted it open, and the only thing, I've got the saw tuned up and sharpened, I've done my shakedown on the mill, so we're all good to go, and I just need to do it. But I really want to show you guys milling this one cedar log here, so I haven't really moved forward, and I want to have a beautiful 60-degree sunny day to come out and do this and just enjoy it. And when that day comes, we'll do it. But it's almost like I've been thinking about it so much, I'm kind of getting burned out on milling, and I've only milled like 3 logs this year. So then over here, what I did is I just took all the straight logs I had, and I just kind of pushed them aside. So when the wood fairy comes, the fellow who brings me wood, puts some wood, behind where we are there, I can get to this stuff without bumping into the other stuff. And all this stuff, except for the white oak over there, my dingo can pick up quite easily and get on the log table. So over here, this is red maple, which I'd like to make some pallets out of, and I'd also like to make some garden beds out of. If I just make some 2x6s or 2x8s out of that, I know it's probably going to rot in a few years, but that's what I like to do with that. I've got some cedar here, and I've got 3 of them that I cut to 6.5 feet. So those 3 will become fence panels, and then those 2 little ones, I probably will end up being firewood. I just didn't want to waste it, so I saved that. And then this pile here is sugar maple, and I did mix. I had some significant sugar maple that was from the property, and I mixed it with some of the sugar maple that was just brought to me. But this is my pile of sugar maple, and you'll notice the logs are shorter. I try to keep my logs. My mill is it's got a 9-foot rail on it, so I think I could cut up to 8 feet, and I could get extensions for it, but I try to keep things around 6 feet. That's like the magic number that for what I'm doing right now, that's where I want to be. So you'll notice everything I cut, I try to cut them to 6.5 feet, give me some wiggle room, and that's why they're that length. Then I've got a couple pieces of cherry. I'd like to mill those up. Cherry is just gorgeous wood, gorgeous. Really looks nice when you mill it. And then over here, this white oak, it just blows me away. This was, brought to me as firewood, and it's just beautiful, beautiful white oak, old growth white oak. I got a few smaller ones here that I could roll on the mill, but I think what I'll do with these is I'll probably quarter them and then make quarter sawn lumber from them if I can, if they're not, too bad yet. But I brought my measuring square here. So, this is 27 inches. So that's white oak, 27 inches in diameter. And then look at this one over here. This one here is, this one's about 21 inches in diameter. And I'm pretty sure I could floor somebody's house with this if I wanted to, if I was a good enough miller. But my thought is to, with the big mill basic, so you screw the big mill basic on the end. So my thought is to cut the log in half, but leave like 3 inches on the end, and then you roll it and you move the mill and you cut it in half again, and you cut it all the way, and then you'll end up with 4 triangles. Now this one's actually got 2 different trunks there, but you end up with 4 triangles, and then I just need to bring it to the mill, each triangle, and you just cut it, flip it, cut it, flip it, like you move the triangle back and forth to get that quarter sawn and to get those flecks out of the yoke. So that, that should be fun, but again, it's finding time. I have ambition, I just have to find time, or I have to find focus. And then these logs over here I saved just because I couldn't do them with the logosol I have now, but if I ever decide I want to mess with a Granberg, I think they'd be fun logs to do with the Granberg mill. And the reason I'm thinking Granberg is I went to the log-right companies in Connecticut, and I got a cant hook from them, and they make these beautiful legs to use with slabs. And the legs are absolutely gorgeous, and they had one that was like, it was like a 28, or was it a 38? The height of the table would have been 40 inches. And if you took a slab of this, this is white oak, it's the stump. If you took a slab of that, 2 inches thick, sanded the top, I mean, you could make an awesome table, and probably somebody'd want to buy it, but I'd love to take a slab of that 2 inches thick and just make a workbench out of it. I think it'd be awesome to have over by my shed or in the backyard somewhere, and I think you could just make an amazing workbench out of it. But I guess if you took, you could get several slabs from this piece of stump, and, maybe at some point I'll start messing with the Granberg. I don't know. I think I got to mess with the logosol first and move from there, but I didn't want to put these 3 logs in the firewood pile. But that's pretty much where we are, folks. I just I had a lot of wood back here, and I came out for a couple hours a day, I'd say, and just really, I'm feeling pretty good about myself because I made progress. And I wish I had maybe done some more physical things over the winter, but at least I got out and split some wood. And I think I mentioned in another video that sometimes winters can be hard for me just because you're not as active. And I am one of those people that gets that winter blues or winter doldrums. But I don't know. I'm just, look at the size of this log. I'm just really feeling a sense of accomplishment, for lack of a better term. I can't say I ever do anything fast, but I can certainly say that I stick with it when I start something. So we will see you guys around, and have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.